All right, today we are diving into a true legend, Slackware, the oldest surviving Linux distribution. We're going to really unpack its core philosophy by using its own manual as our guide. We're going to explore why this system values transparency and user control above literally everything else.
Okay, this one quote, it says it all. This isn't just a marketing slogan, it's the entire spirit of Slackware. It's a promise that sets it completely apart from most modern operating systems that try to hide all the complicated bits from you. Slackware does the exact opposite.
And this chart right here really lays out the core difference. Look, this isn't about Slackware being old or outdated. It's a deliberate philosophical choice. You are trading the "it just works" convenience of hidden automation for the real power that comes from knowing exactly how it works.
So, to really get this, we're going to follow the journey of a new user. We'll start with the why behind Slackware, and then we'll walk step by step through the how, from installation all the way to system administration. This is our roadmap.
So let's start with that foundation. Slackware's whole philosophy is straight out of the old-school Unix playbook. It's all about stability over flashy, bleeding-edge features. You know, it famously has a when-it's-ready release cycle, no made-up deadlines. The goal is just to create a simple, stable, and truly understandable system.
So how does that philosophy actually feel in practice? Well, it begins the moment you try to install it. The installation process itself is your very first lesson in the Slackware way. It's not some one-click thing, it's a series of conscious decisions that make you think about the system you are actually building.
And just look at this. The minimum system requirements are just wild by today's standards. A 586 class processor, 32 megabytes of RAM. Now, this isn't just a fun piece of trivia. It shows you how incredibly efficient and respectful of resources the system is, and that's a direct result of its simple, no-frills design.
Even picking your software is a lesson in control. The manual suggests newbie mode, not because you're a newbie, but because it's the most deliberate way to do it. It makes you walk through every single software package, tells you what it is, and forces you to say yes or no. By the end, the only things on your system are the things you explicitly chose to put there.
So you finish the install, you reboot, and this is what you see, the command prompt. In the world of Slackware, the command line isn't just some backup tool you use when the GUI breaks. No, it is the primary interface. You got to think of it like a set of powerful building blocks for controlling your whole system.
Now, knowing your way around this map is absolutely key. Unlike other systems that might hide the file structure from you, Slackware just expects you to know where things are. All your configs are in /etc, your programs are in /bin or /usr/bin, your personal files are in /home. This is the blueprint of your machine. And this is a perfect example of that building block idea. You don't need some huge monolithic program to do everything. Instead, you take these simple little tools, like PS to list processes and tag to reverse text, and you chain them together to do really complex things. It's kind of like plumbing for data. But of course, with great power comes great responsibility. And let me tell you, there are few commands out there that demonstrate the raw, unfiltered power that Slackware gives you quite as clearly or as terrifyingly as this one. And here is the most important part of this whole lesson. The system will just do it. There are no "are you really sure" pop-ups. Slackware trusts you, the administrator, to know exactly what you're doing. It is the ultimate expression of user control, for better or for worse.
Getting online or setting up a graphical desktop follows the exact same philosophy. There's no hidden magic going on. You do it by editing simple, well-commented text files yourself. You know exactly how your network is configured because, well, you're the one who wrote the configuration.
You know, the manual is pretty smart. It's quick to warn you about old, insecure tools. For instance, it'll tell you straight up, never use Telnet to log into a remote machine, because it sends your password across the internet in plain, unencrypted text.
But then, it shows you this brilliant little trick. See, because Telnet is just a raw connection tool, you can use it to connect directly to a web server on its home turf, port 80. You're basically opening a direct phone line to the server.
And once you're connected, you can speak the web's native language. You literally type a basic GET request, and the server sends you back the raw HTML code for the web page, exactly what your browser would see. This is the Slackware ethos in a nutshell, using a simple tool to peel back the layers and see how things really work.
So this whole hands-on approach, it extends to everything you do day to day. When you're talking about system administration, managing users, software, security, you are the one calling all the shots. And since you're going to be editing text files all the time, choosing your text editor is a rite of passage. This showdown between the two titans, Vi and Emacs, really highlights two completely different philosophies. Vi is the super lightweight, focused editor, while Emacs is, well, it's practically its own operating system. Your choice says a lot about how you like to get things done.
The approach to security is just as direct and common sense. The logic is simple. If you don't need a service running, just turn it off. And in Slackware, you do that right at the source, either by commenting out a line in a config file or just by making a startup script not executable. No hidden switches, just direct action.
So, after this whole journey, through the installation, the command line, and running the system, we finally get to the big picture. What does it all mean? What's the real value of this transparent, hands-on way of doing things in today's world?
And it kind of comes down to this simple number, 2. Why 2? Because it represents that core value of simplicity, right down to the bedrock of the system. The manual recommends just 2 partitions to get started, one for everything and one for your virtual memory, or swap. It's clean, it's logical, and you built it yourself.
And I think ultimately the greatest lesson from a system like Slackware is just this. Operating systems are not magic. They're just a collection of tools and scripts and config files, all working together in ways that you can actually see and understand and control.
And that leaves us with one final thought. In a world where so much of our technology is intentionally hidden from us behind shiny, user-friendly layers, what's the real value of being able to peel all of that back? How much power do you gain when you're one of the few people who actually understands how it all really works underneath?